Now, that story you were telling there about the nut cup, that gives new meaning to balls and strikes.
Oh, yeah. And it make you sing like Prince.
Welcome to Six Figure Trucker, the podcast where we share advice on how to be successful in trucking and have fun while doing so. We'll share stories, news, and advice on how to earn six figures in trucking, and we'll speak to guys and gals that are already doing so. Let's get to the show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. This is a format every week where we lift up, elevate, and celebrate the truck drivers. Of course, they're the backbone of our company. Without them, we would not be able to get by. And we have a very special guest joining us tonight, Kevin Tutt. Kevin, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing great. Not as good as you, because we talked earlier. You're on vacation, right?
I am.
Tell me about who you're on vacation with, where you are, and what you're doing.
I'm in Disney World, Orlando, Florida. I'm with my two sons and my one son's wife. He's married. My grandbaby, my kid's mother, and my son's wife's sister.
So you guys got a whole crew there.
Yeah.
What's the weather like there in Disney World?
It's nice. It was nice today. The sun was out all day. It's starting to get a little cool now, but it's we're on the last ride right now. We're going to head in after this.
Have you been jumping on any of the rides, or are you just watching?
Yeah, I just came off the Millennium Falcon.
The Millennium Falcon?
For Star Wars. Yep.
How was it?
It was my second time I've been on that ride. This time I was an engineer. I mean, all you had to do was push a button. It was like a simulated ride. It was cool.
Cool. Now, are the kids enjoying it?
Oh, yeah. There's only one kid.
Only one kid. That child is enjoying it.
Oh, yeah. She's having a great time.
Well, that's fantastic. Now, obvious question here. You're in Orlando. You're on vacation. You got a big family trip there. I'd like to think that that's possible because you're one of our independent contracted drivers.
Yes.
So you've been able to take advantage of time on the road?
Yes, and I was able to take off what I wanted to take off so I could make it.
Was this had this vacation been in the works for some time?
Yeah, it's been in the works for a couple months now. Yeah.
And talk about, you mentioned there, take off when you want to. What kind of freedom does that give you where you don't have to ask to take off? You can take off whenever you want.
Well, that's wonderful. It's like I said, there's a lot of jobs that won't give you the time off sometimes, and it's easier to make plans when you can do your own thing. And I'm on the road a lot, so when I take time off, it's not much, but this was a well-deserved week off.
So when did you got down there a couple of days ago? Is that right?
Yeah, I got here on Tuesday.
Okay, got there on Tuesday.
I delivered my last truck on on Tuesday morning. I delivered my last truck, then I got on the plane and flew down here.
Well, you didn't waste any time.
No.
Now, being in Orlando, we were talking about this earlier before we started recording. You can still see some of the remnants of Hurricane Milton. Yeah,
very little here, but like the Airbnb we're staying in, the whole back fence is torn out, and there's some debris on the ground out front, but Orlando didn't get hit too bad.
Oh, no, not at all. Yeah. What's the crowd like down there? It seems like it's always crowded at Disney World.
Well, when we went to where we went earlier today, it was kind of light, and then it started to get moderate. And when we were leaving, it seemed like there was the most people there then. Then we went to the Epcot Center, and there's a lot of people at Epcot.
Oh, yeah, that's a popular.
But, now we're at the Universal Kingdom or something like that. It's Hollywood something is where we're at.
Okay. We certainly appreciate you taking time out of your vacation to talk to us. And, you had mentioned that when you drive a lot. And I did a little research. You're knocking out 8,200 miles a month. Did you realize you were on the road that much?
Well, I know it was something like that.
8,200 miles a month. You must love life on the road.
I don't.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
Oh, no. I used to have a saying a long time ago, anything over an hour was too much, but, it's the way I make my living, so I don't mind driving. I just do it.
I got you.
I got introduced to the Driveaway game, like I said, back in 19, 2019. I didn't understand it at first, but once I got the hang of it, I was off and running after that. I hardly ever came home.
How'd you get introduced to it?
Well, it was really strange because I left Minnesota. It was getting to be wintertime. And I wanted to get away from Minnesota because I hate the cold.
Get the hell out.
And I went to Phoenix, Arizona, to a friend's house. And he's like, man, come here and, till you get on your feet and then you do what you got to do. And I was like, okay. Well, when I got there, he accused me of being after his girlfriend, which I knew him and her. I known the girl longer, but that wasn't the case. And so it caused a little conflict. And I got the job driving for another Driveaway company just in the nick of time, and it was able to let me get out of there. And I did a whole bunch of California runs. I went from Moreno Valley all up through California, Northern California, Sacramento, places like that. And it took, like I said, I didn't really learn the real ropes until I ran into another driver. We went to Indiana and picked up these trucks, and we drove them all the way to California. They were UPS trucks.
Okay.
And then that's when I learned about how to make money and shop. I go to I fuel up at the places where it's less than like going to the Pilots and the Loves, because those are the most expensive fuel places.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just I learned to save on fuel, and I started putting a couple extra coins in my pocket. So,
well, you talk about saving on fuel when you're talking about a diesel, a tractor that holds over 100 gallons. A penny here and a penny there adds up.
Right, it does, yeah. And I mean, we took some regular unleaded vehicles too. So, I mean, I drove so many UPS trucks, it's ridiculous.
So you were driving the step vans.
Yeah, well, we call them bread trucks.
Yeah,
but they were the step vans. Yeah.
You're showing your age there.
I hooked up with this other. Yeah, well, that's what happened.
I understand. No,
and I hooked up with another driver, and me and him, we were running those trucks from coast to coast.
Was that fun?
And I mean, it was the first couple runs we discovered we got to come through Phoenix in those areas at night because it's too hot. When you're driving in a truck that doesn't have any air conditioning, it gets a little warm. But
you got to plan your stops.
You got to plan your stops, exactly. So we slept in the day and we drove at night.
I hear you, brother. Now, you were talking about you've learned a lot since you started picking it up, and I was looking at your profile there. You'd been basically been running about 5 years before you came to us.
Yep.
Have you picked up any more tricks of the trade since you came to Norton Transport?
Well, another trick is to really find somebody to run with you, because you can save money on rentals and things like that, and you can kind of look out for one another because, even though you get 11 hours to drive, sometimes you can get sleepy in that 11 hours drive,
Sure.
So we, see a guy swerve to the right or the left, I'd call him on the phone and say, "Are you all right?" And he'd tell me, what the case might have been, but like I said, you learn to get somebody that's good to run with, and you look out for each other. I mean, there's great money to be made at the, in the driveway service. That's why I've been doing it so long.
I got you. Now, do you run with somebody on the regular?
I haven't really found nobody yet since I've been with Norton, but I still care. I stick to the grind, and it depends on who you run into.
Well, if you guys are out there listening, Kevin Tutt looking for a running mate.
Yep, a good running mate will make. I mean, then it's kind of hard to pull off short runs if you got somebody who can run with you. You can get them short runs, and just split the cost on a rental car. And if there's 4 or 5 of them, give them all to us. We'll take them all.
Yeah.
And get those short runs out of the way. But it's hard to do that when you don't have nobody to run with, because it's got to make sense. It's definitely got to make sense for you to take a run. You can't take a run where it's going to cost you a couple $100 to fly to, and it's only 500 or 600 miles. You've kind of shot yourself in the foot by doing that.
Right.
Unless you find a cheaper way to get there, So it's always about finding your best route,
Some drivers, obviously most drivers, love the long runs. I'm sure you do too. But there's money to be made also on the short runs if you plan it right.
There's definitely money to be made on it. You just got to make sure they make sense.
Those connecting runs, I mean, if you can get some of those to take a long one, then a short one to get to another long one, that's a good week right there.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I wanted to run down some of your stats here just to kind of pat you on the back here. you've got a 96% check-in percentage, 96%, 90% completion, and 67% on time. All those good marks. Thank you very much, Kevin.
Yep. Oh, you're welcome.
Now, do you take
I didn't
pride?
know any of those till now. So.
Do you take pride in doing your job and doing it well?
Oh, always. I mean, you know, even if I don't really care for the run, or I look at where I got to go with the run, you know, as long as I can get out of some place, I'm pretty cool with it. You know, I'm going to take care of the truck and get it from A to B, you know, safely and under the regulations, you know, and get on to the next truck. That's what I'm about, you know. So I tend to go to Minnesota a little more now because I got a little friend that I hooked up with, and so I try to sneak in there and see her when I can. But
I got you. What part of Minnesota?
Right in from the Twin Cities where I'm from.
Okay, I got you. That's a nice area. Minneapolis, South St. Paul. There, it's a clean city. I've been up there, and from that struck me, it's like it's a pretty clean city.
Yeah. Only thing I don't like I said, I don't like the snow and I hate the cold.
Yeah, you got to get out of there. Come about this time of the year.
So I know I'm gonna get out of there for the winter.
Snowbird it there.
Yep, exactly.
Now, you, like we were talking, you had about 5 years experience prior to coming on board with Norton. And what kind of lessons have you learned in your time before Norton and your time with Norton?
Well, main thing, got to keep them logs clean. I got in log trouble a long time ago. And ever since then, I've been minding my logs like I'm supposed to. You just got to follow the rules. I mean, it's not a hard job at all, you know. Sometimes you might get detoured or things like that. Or if you don't pay, another thing you got to pay attention to is the weather. I mean, you don't want to drive through a blizzard somewhere or hit take the hurricanes that just came through here, you know.
Yeah, that impact.
I didn't take anything.
That impacted a lot of our drivers. Both of.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it did.
Both of the hurricanes. A lot of plants shut down. A lot of drop points closed down. A lot of pickup points closed down. North Carolina was really bad because of I-40.
When they shut 40 down. Yeah.
When they shut 40 down, exactly. And
I didn't take anything down that way.
Well, that's smart. I mean, the underscore paying attention to the weather across the country.
Right. You got to. I mean, Norton sends out memos and stuff, you know. But even with them sending out memos, you still got to plan ahead. You got to look ahead and see what's coming your way if you can. You know, look, I'm going this way. What am I going to run into? Because you know, you don't want to get stranded somewhere. I got stuck out on 40 like 4 years ago. All of a sudden, I drove into a storm that I didn't pay attention to. And I was heading to California with that truck, and I sat on the freeway for 11 hours.
Where was it?
I was right before I was about 300 miles before El Paso, Texas.
Describe the storm to us. What was the storm like?
Well, as I was driving, I started seeing these signs, and they were like, winter warning, ahead, blah, 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 15 inches of snow. I was like, oh, my God, did I read that right? And so I kept going, and so then we stopped. Like I said, we stopped on the freeway there. It might have just been past El Paso, but and we came to a stop on the freeway. And another thing was I only had like a quarter tank of fuel, so I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, we'll see how long this is. And I had my fuel stop planned already, but I had to stop about 2 miles up after I finally drove up. They cleared out the right lane. And what the problem was, were the semis, their tires were bad, and they were just spinning out.
Mm-hmm.
So they were blocking lanes. So they made it so we creeped up the side, and then I stopped at a Chevron. I only put a little bit of gas in there, though, because that Chevron was high. And so I put some fuel in there. But, I mean, I went to sleep right there on the freeway. It was crazy, man. Nobody was moving.
What kind of truck were you in?
I was in a box truck.
Ooh. I bet that was cold.
It was cold, yeah, and it was cold too. It was crazy, but I mean, that was about the worst thing that had ever happened to me out here on the road. I mean, I was driving, and this guy almost ran me off the road, and I had to pull over for a little bit because I got a little shook up. Semi driver just driving crazy, man. The things you see out there, accident-wise, man, it's just crazy. I think a lot of people are out there driving beyond their time and not resting like they should.
Right.
So, I've seen a lot of that too. I've seen a lot of bad accidents. I haven't been in any, thank God. You see a lot out when you're out there. If you're paying attention, you'll see a lot.
You're listening to Kevin Tutt here on the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. Kevin is joining us from Orlando on his vacation with an extended family there at Disney World. Kevin is some of the younger folks are on the rides, and he's waiting for them to get off the rides, and we appreciate you taking time to be with us, Kevin. And my understanding is back in your younger days, well, before we go back into your younger days, you got a birthday coming up a couple days from now, right?
Yep, Sunday.
And it's always good to talk to a fellow Libra. Libras know how to get it done. And
Right.
wanted to ask you about back in your youth, you used to play some sports.
Yes, I did.
What was your favorite sport, and what position did you play within that sport?
Well, my favorite sport was baseball. And I used to love, first I started out as a catcher until I got hit somewhere with the ball. So then I went, after that, I went to the outfield. And that's because, when I was young, my grandmother raised me because my mother died when I was 5. And my grandmother, we didn't have a lot of money, so I didn't have money for what they call a nut cup.
Yeah.
And so so then I got hit with that ball, and then I was like, I'm going out in the field. And so I played left field for a lot of years. I loved the position, and I moved to center for a while. And I had to play right field for one team because, they had the left and center field taken. So if I wanted to play, I had to play right field.
Gotcha. Yeah, that gives.
But I did play basketball and football.
Now that story you were telling there about the nut cup, that gives new meaning to balls and strikes.
Oh yeah, and it make you sing like Prince,
who is from Minnesota.
Yeah, who is from Minnesota? Yeah, and he was very good at basketball too.
Well, that's I did not know that Prince was not a tall guy, but there you go.
Yeah, that's probably why that didn't really go anywhere. But
well, speaking of music, you've had a background in music as well, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I'm a drummer.
How long have you been?
And I started out on guitar back when I was young. Me and my brother were going to be the next Jimi Hendrixes.
Yep.
And my dad bought us both guitars for Christmas one year, and then we started to learn how to play. A guy who was teaching us how to play guitar was actually a guitar player for Ike and Tina Turner.
Oh, wow. Learning from the best.
Yeah, and he got shortchanged on that by his father because his dad got lonely and called him and told him he was sick and had his son come in off the road with Ike and Tina Turner and found out that he wasn't sick, but he never went back out after that because he lost his position. But, that guy taught us how to play, and then I didn't like getting blisters, so it slowed me down from learning. But then we got in a band with 6 guitar players. It was crazy.
That's heavy on
the guitar. A bass player
guitar.
and a drummer. Yeah, and so at that particular time, we had nobody who knew how to read. We knew nobody who knew how to sit down and listen to a song and say, okay, this is what you got to play. So the only song that we could actually play was 25 or 64 by Chicago.
Oh yeah, that's a great song.
So we'd play that song and everybody would get their little guitar solo, and then we'd stop and then we'd fiddle around for an hour because we didn't know how to play anything else. And so I got tired of that. I told my brother, so we need to form our own band. So we started looking for a bass player. We found a bass player, but we couldn't find a drummer, and that's when I switched. And I told my dad, I said, Dad, I need a drum set. He's like, well, didn't I just buy you a guitar? I was like, well, that was your other son. And he's like, yeah, right. But he bought me the drum set, and I stayed with it. So I've been playing drums ever since I was 13.
Was it a pretty easy transition from the guitar to the drums?
It was for me, and it's funny because my uncle was actually the one who got us started wanting to play. My uncle moved in this, we stayed in this duplex in St. Paul, and he moved downstairs, and he had a band, and they rehearsed in the basement. Okay. And my grandma used to tell us to stay away from down there, but I used to sneak down there anyway.
Of course.
And for some reason even back then, I was infatuated with the drummer.
Right.
And his name was Paul Aguilar, and I used to watch Paul play, and he would hit me in the stomach with the stick, and I couldn't figure out how he could do that and not miss a beat.
Wow, that's some rhythm.
But I also thought that was my payment for learning how to play, because that's actually how I learned how to play, was watching him.
Well, here's the question. What was the name of the band that you guys formed?
Should I form?
Yeah, that you formed.
It was Eternal Flight.
Eternal Flight?
Yep.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And
yeah, and we were together. Yeah, we were together about 7 years. And that guitar player I told you that taught us how to play, he played with us. His name was Joe Wilson.
Okay. Did you guys get gigs?
And
I
so
mean, did you play around town? Or?
Yeah, we did. Yep. Yeah, we played all through St. Paul. And then we got to the point where, we were in the basement too long. And then there was this girl involved, which is always a girl, man, I tell you. My brother and the bass player both messed with her, and they got in each other's face about that girl. And we broke up.
That was the end of the band, huh?
And my brother never played again. And then I left music alone for quite some time, and then I went and seen another band, and I was inspired to play after that. So I pulled together a band, and then, like I said before earlier, I did the same thing. I brought Yoko Ono into the band, and then that was the end of my band, which that band was called Mystic Funk. And we played a lot of places in the Twin Cities, yeah.
Do you still dabble in it now?
Yeah, we travel some. I mean, we went to some resorts. We played up at Big Bear up in Minnesota, casino a few times. We went to, what was the name of that other place? Lake Itasca. We played up there at the resort there.
Okay.
And we were on the verge of getting into Oshkosh, Wisconsin. There's a resort there we were trying to get in. And we broke up right before I was getting that connected.
Gotcha.
But other than that, we played at all the bars in the Twin Cities. I mean, anywhere they had live music, we pretty much played except for we hadn't played at the Minnesota Music Cafe yet. I didn't really want to play there because that bar had got so ran down and people would quit coming there because the condition of the place, And you come in there and all you smelled was urine,
I got
and who wants to come in a place and that was the first thing you smelled.
I got you.
Yeah.
One of those kind of places.
I'm looking at pulling another band together, though. I want to play again.
Oh, wow. That'd be cool. Have you got people that you could pull together pretty quickly to make that band happen?
Well, yeah, I got a bass player that I really want to get him playing, too, because I'm really interested in moving to Vegas, honestly, because there's a lot more bars out there to play in. But I talked to him about moving in and getting a place with me and moving out there.
Gotcha.
And then, I'll transport some trucks there early in part of the week, and we'll probably rehearse over the weekends and then play, of course, on the weekends. But that's my goal. That's my next goal.
Well, let's shift gears back into driving here. Do you have a preference of what type of truck you drive, or do you just take what's available, what makes the most sense?
I like to drive the tractors. I'm not going to lie. I don't know why I like to drive tractors, but I like the tractors. I don't mind a box truck either. I'm not a big fan of any of the chassis.
Yeah, they bounce
because,
a little bit.
The chassis, you're going to bounce around a lot, and I'm a little old for that.
I got you.
So, yeah.
Well, you got
and I just took one almost across the country. I'm like, I ain't going to do that again soon.
I got you. I understand. We get that a lot about the chassis, particularly on those 2,000-mile runs with the chassis. It's
right.
You got to be ready.
It's a young man's truck.
Well, speaking of a young man's truck, how much longer do you see yourself doing this?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. My biggest part of leaving this would probably be the cut and pay, because I'm not gonna do nothing across country in a semi. I don't want to do long haul on semi.
I got you.
I'll drive a tractor across the country, because I ain't got to worry about the freight. There's a lot that I don't have to worry about. But if I actually stop transporting trucks, I think I might get into maybe driving a coach bus, maybe. But
I got you.
I don't see it happening soon. I just made retire doing Driveaway. I'm thinking.
Well, it sounds like it's been good to you.
Yep.
Well, I got to tell you a confession.
I mean, and don't get it twisted. I mean, Driveaway has its downfalls sometimes. It's not always cookies and cream,
Right.
You got to work past the bad part too, because things can happen,
There is a learning curve. I mean.
Right. Yeah.
You got to really learn how to plan, and like you were talking about, pay close attention to the weather everywhere because of where you may be going.
It's all about you get what you want to take, you figure your route out, figure out where you're going to stop for fuel, and I mean it's pretty simple, man. You just get on your way and get going.
Mm-hmm.
You drive your 11 hours, find you a good place to shut down. Maybe you can get you a good dinner. The other hard thing about being out here on the road is eating the proper foods, you know, because a guy my age, you know, your body starts to change. You got, you know, you've been eating a bunch of garbage all your life, it'll catch up to you. You know?
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
I used to pride myself on not being on any kind of medication, and I just got put on blood pressure pills because I can't control my weight. But he told me, he says, if you get your weight down, you know, he says, we can take you off these. And I was like, well, I'm going to work on that. Like I said, and the biggest part is finding the right foods to eat out on the road.
Yeah, you got to be that comes with a bit of a challenge there. I mean, you got to plan ahead and stop at the right places and not get not get into that trap of truck driver food. You know, it's
right. Yeah, because I was in that trap a long time. You know, it was real easy for me to stop and pick up that cheeseburger,
mm-hmm.
you know,
oh, yeah.
or a piece of chicken. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
So now I hit the Walmart, and I tell you, like my breakfast mostly consists of I can only eat pineapple. I can't eat a lot of fruits because I got allergies.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get some pineapple in the morning. I'll eat some tuna fish and maybe a hard-boiled egg or two, and then I'll probably do a salad for lunch, and then that could pretty much be all I eat in a day's time now.
Well, it sounds like you're on the right trail. You're on the right path.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a long process because once bad habits are hard to break.
Oh, I can relate.
Yeah.
I was just going to give you a confession here. I'd heard your name around the office as one of our top drivers, and I'm like, I need to talk to this Kevin Tutt guy. So I started talking to your dispatch team, talked to Mike first, then to Courtney, and then to Carson, and they all signed off on you, said, yeah, you need to talk to Kevin. So you obviously have a good relationship with your dispatch team.
I do, I do. I like Courtney.
Yeah, she's great. I mean, talk about that relationship. We talk about this pretty much week in, week out with each driver we have on here. How would you describe your relationship with Courtney and the team?
I think, well, you know, I can't say too much about the team. I mean, other than, you know, I communicate with Courtney more than I communicate with anybody. And so, I mean, me and her, I think we see eye to eye on a lot of things. And I mean, everybody's going to have their moment, you know, but overall, I think she's a great girl. I even want to meet her sometimes. So, you know.
Well,
she tries hard. She tries hard for me. So, and that's all I can ask of her. You know.
That's nice.
Is to try hard for me. So.
And I'm sure she's going to be pleased to hear that. But if you're ever coming south on I-75, which I'm sure you are, and you cross into Georgia, you need to stop at the office, and we'll hook you up with some stuff.
Okay, I can do that.
Well, Kevin Tutt here on the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. Kevin, it sounds like there's a lot of fun and activity going on around you there in Disney World, and I don't want to keep you too much longer. Anything you want to say signing off?
Well, all I got to say is anybody's interested in making some decent money and want to, you know, if you want to see the world, come aboard.
There you have it from Kevin Tutt here on the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate everything you do.
Thanks, John.
Six Figure Trucker is brought to you by Norton Transport. Norton Transport is a drive-away trucking company that customers can rely on. It offers excellent independent contract driving opportunities to professional, courteous, and qualified drivers that can provide the kind of service we deliver. If you're interested in learning more about Norton or just want to subscribe to the show, check out 6-figuretrucker.com. That's 6-figuretrucker.com.